Roadstar is orange GSM. Roadstar is orange GSM. Call the number 448. So it's toll free. You can call. Access information on more people advice for encourage everyone of us to join the strategy for CENTAL is just a democracy for embedded center encourage our leaders to come forward to the start of our ELAC team. The Integrity Watch radio program is very civil and informative with zero tolerance on the use of invectives and other denigrating comments. So guests appearing on this platform, they are guided by the rule. So today is Wednesday, September 7, 2022, and this edition of the program is going to be providing you some updates about CENTAL's activities. And we're going to discuss key national issues, trending national issues with specific focus on the status of the passport saga. So the passport saga involving the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. So we have made some follow-ups, and we want to bring to your attention what has happened along the way. So when issues come about, when they are blown and they die or they seem to be dead, we follow up on them to see what has happened. So we've made some follow-up with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we're going to bring to you what has happened so far, what we've gathered. So today, that's what we're going to be doing. But before we do that, let's go to little things that matter. Under little things that matter, we want to greet His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Manawia. Good morning, Your Excellency. This segment is specifically to speak to the President and bring to him, issues of national concerns. So, Your Excellency, good morning, and good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. Thank you, Your Excellency, for the leadership shown thus far in steering the affairs of our country. We want to appreciate you for that. But I think there are a few things that, like always, we bring to your attention so that you can know about them. You may know about them, but sometimes it's good to refresh your memories on some of these things. And today, Your Excellency, we are concerned about the way people respond to you when you give them mandate. When you give mandate to ministers, directors to do certain things, it is incumbent upon them to do it and do it speedily. Your Excellency, we want to bring your attention to this issue about the passport saga. The issue with the passport is seriously concerning. Since May, this incident was reported in May. In May of this year, this particular matter was reported in Front Page Africa. Thanks to Front Page Africa for bringing up this matter. Front Page Africa published the information on May 9. And since that time, Your Excellency, you asked the Minister of Foreign, even though we had issue with that particular, appointment, asking the minister to lead the investigation surrounding this passport saga. As yet, Your Excellency, nothing has happened. Yet since May, June, July, August, and we are in September, no information about that. Nothing, absolutely nothing has happened. Your Excellency, these are not good signs. For you as the leader of the country to instruct people to do an investigation or to do investigations, and they seem to be playing don't care with it. Whatever the case may be, the reason why we grew interest in this particular matter and all issues concerning the integrity and the image of our country is because we as Liberians, we deserve to be respected globally. We deserve to be recognized whenever we appear to places based on the integrity of our leaders and the integrity of the people, the integrity that has been built for our country, the image, positive image of our country. But we don't want to be recognized on the basis and stigmatized on the basis of maybe the wrong things happening in our country, like during the war. As soon as you call your country, when you say you are Liberian, the first name they were associated with will either be Chastilla. They were associated with war, or the place that the war is fighting. Oh, Chastilla. It means they were negatively, portraying Liberians. Thank God that we redeem and rebuild that image. So the process of redeeming and rebuilding the image and making the country to regain its status and respectable status in the committee of nations is because it was tedious. It took every Liberian to put their sweat, their blood, and everything together to get us to where we are, including our international partners. So they all put efforts together to bring us to where we. That is the reason why we must jealously guide and protect the image of our country and make sure that we build an image that people will see us and give us, and respect us for that. And Your Excellency, you have a very good image. When right now, when people talk about Liberia, they say George Weah. They are looking at you as an icon. They have known you to be a legend. So that image you've built for yourself, that is why people now recognizing the country by you because of you. So what we need to do, what we need to protect is the image that we have built, not individual image, but the image of Liberia need to be protected so that nothing possible will tint our image across the globe and across the world. That is the reason why it's important for us to discuss this. Your Excellency, you need to take this very seriously. You need to follow up with the Ministry or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It seems to be nothing happening, but we're going to go deep into that. That's why we want to bring to your attention, Your Excellency. We're going to discuss about the passport issue. We're going to talk about what we found out so far from our own follow-ups. And we're not stopping here. We're going to go further. We're going to book an appointment with the minister to get to the minister's office to speak with him on this matter. But so far, we're going to talk about that. Let's go to the next segment of our program. The next segment speaks directly to members of the National Legislature. So today we want to speak to uh, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Buffer Chambers, and the Senate Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, Honorable Albert Chi. Good morning, honorables, and good morning to members of the 54th National Legislature. Good morning to all of you. It is our hope that you all, today is Wednesday and you've been on your special section. So we hope that you are reviewing issues of national concern, trying to make sure that you review different policy instruments, different laws and amendments, and that will help our country to be better. But whilst you do that, we want to consultize you to always make sure that whatever you do, it should be in the interest of the people who stood under the rain, under the sun, to elect you to where you are. Remember that there were people, despite of not having food on their tables, they stood in the line without eating nothing at all. They stood in the lines to make sure that you are elected to that post you occupy. You did not come. You did not get to that post by magic. It was because people voted you. the process of voting and all of the things that preceded and all of that. I'm not talking about that, but know that people voted you legitimately. There were people who legitimately voted for you. So you must make sure that whatever you do, think about those people. How will you do things that will impact their lives positively? Because some of the things that we do, they negatively impacting the lives of our people. The negative impacts of the lives of the people will be the lack of drugs in health centers in Butuo, the lack of drugs in health centers in Belefania, the lack of drugs in health centers in Maryland, and all of these different places. Some of the things, the negative impacts of some of the decisions and the policies that we craft, because we don't have access to quality and accessible education in Liberia. That is some of the reasons why we come to plead with you to pass laws that will benefit the people, that will be in the interest of the people and not to protect you and the few elites, not to put money in your pocket, not to continuously increase your budgets, increase the budgets of your friends who are working in different ministries and agencies and hospitals in the counties in the country cannot have access to, don't have drugs. And people are dying on a daily basis, on an hourly basis from curable illnesses. Yet, you continuously putting money and you're bragging about it. You're boasting about putting $40,000 into the budget to buy a car for lawmakers. Yet, $40,000 could buy drugs to go into one health center. $40,000 could be added to the educational budget to make sure that we have good educational sector. 40,000 times 103. Imagine that. That's not small money you're talking about. It's just going to just a minute portion of the population, just few individuals having this kind of money. Yet the people are going without food. Make the environment livable. Make the country livable. The people can fend for themselves. Let things be affordable. Education be affordable and accessible. That's what the people want. They don't want you to take food to their table, put food on their table. No. Create the environment so that they can fend for themselves. As it is now, the environment is tough. Truth be told. The environment in Liberia is tough. Very, very tough. Even for those who are working. Before the month ends, they don't even have anything left with them. They've credited all. Transportation, that's wahala. Before you leave from your house on a daily basis, commute from one place to another, $20 US cannot spend 1 hour in your pocket on transportation, depending on where you're going. You transport just within Monrovia and its environs. You change $20, I'm talking about 3,000 Liberian dollars. Can spend 1 hour in your pocket from, if you cover 3 locations, you already exhausted $3,000. So imagine you do that on a daily basis. You need to feed for these people, these civil servants. Let's think about them. Let's consider them in the budget. Let's consider the educational sector. How can we make sure that we meet the 20% benchmark? When will we do that? If we continue to prioritize ourselves and not prioritizing things that are supposed to affect the general good of the people. So, honorable members of the legislature, we plead with you to pass laws that will benefit the people and not to always add money and do things that will benefit you. And you come out to brag about it when people cannot find food. You need to think about this. You need to do things that will protect the interests of the people. The next segment, next thing we want to talk about, we're talking about elections and youth. And we are emphasizing on young people. We want to speak to young people next year. In fact, we've already started the process. Our electioneering period has begun. So the process has started. People going about with electioneering activities already. The National Elections Commission has already issued a calendar, of events. So, and our young people are going to be in the forefront as usual of all of the electoral activities, campaigns, uh, debates. They're going to be arguing with each other. I want to plead with you, young people. You need to think and rethink about yourself and the future of your children and your born children. You need to start asking the critical question to these people who we claim who are our leaders. Yes, that claim, but they are our leaders. And those who want to contest to be leaders of our different, you know, districts, whether districts, counties, and the country. We need to evaluate these people on the basis of what they have to offer the country. Stop being driven by your belly. Stop being driven by your belly. Stop being fooled by the little 10 or 20 they will put in your pocket for just a day. And you sell the future of your country for 6 years, for 9 years. You need to think, who do you entrust your district with? You elect people and they go there. The only thing you hear them pushing for, the only time you hear them talking is when they're talking for something that will benefit them. When they're talking about the budget, discussing budget, especially the budget for the legislature, you hear some of the lawmakers. But since some of them were elected, you have now heard them saying, fue, fue. You hear them saying, fue mean they have not said anything since they were elected. They just go to sit down, they listen to their friends. Some of them, when sessions, serious debates ongoing, they are on their phone or they're doing something else. These are the people we elected because we didn't evaluate them. They only push for things that will benefit them. When they talk about increment in the budget of the legislature, they are vocal, but they will never speak for things that will benefit the people living in Sonny Wayne. How do they get health facility that will be up to the tax to make sure that it serves them? To make sure that the streets are clean, to push for these things. How do we get them happening? So you young people, you have to think about yourselves. You have to stop putting your chest before the bullet for these politicians. When at the end of the day, they will dump you and they go about, just dishing resources, not their personal resources, but state resources. They're dishing state resources and they're bragging about it all over the place because you put your chest before the bullet, because you never review, you never ask the hard question, you never check and evaluate these people very well before electing them. When you elect rogue, do not expect that when that rogue is elected to become a lawmaker, the position going to change that person. Not at all. Like I said, just because he was elected to be a lawmaker, know the color of an individual, gave him power and gave him worth. Then you get to know. Now you see some of the people. So it's a lesson for you to learn, to evaluate people on the basis of what they have come to offer. And then when they bring these things to you, you can hold them accountable for what they said. But the people came to you, they gave you 20, they gave you 10. And that was what they offered to you. So you can't, because they paid for your vote. So if you stop accepting these things and asking these people the hard questions, you're going to get the right leaders. So let us evaluate these people. Let us evaluate them to make sure that we let the right people to serve in our country. That's the only thing we can do. And let's stop being belly driven. Too many belly driven, even civil societies. Yes, I need to speak to them too. civil society organizations, some of them are belly driven. They take money from politicians and they go back politicians, they write press releases and send it out in favor of politicians while they're supposed to be protecting the interests of the people. And they call themselves civil society organizations. Those are the kind of people we need to weed out of our country. And we ask the National Civil Society Council to be very robust in this matter. Thanks to the National Civil Society Council, I think they passed a policy, they passed a guard policy that will guard, the execution and running of civil society in Liberia. I think that is very welcoming. I want to say thanks to the leadership of the National Civil Society Council. That is welcoming. We need to execute this. We need to follow this to the letter, because for too long, our people have suffered because they don't have people to talk for them. We call ourselves civil society. We go and collect money from people, and we go, overnight to. I mean, this is so saddening. That is the reason why some of the civil society organizations don't get respected in the places they find themselves working. Because one day you are a politician, another day you are civil society. Then who you are, you don't have any true color. When they bring $5, you hold it and go do dirty work. Then you call yourself civil society organization. No, you are not. We need to think about these things. Young people, you need to rethink and try to identify your true potentials. By that, people will not just carry you. You will not just be carried by the wind. You will stand up and stand for something. Thank you very much. That's what we want to talk about today. We will take a very, very short break. When we come back, we go into our discussion. Like we said, we're going to be talking about the passport saga. Let's take a very, very short break. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, the program you are listening to is called Integrity Watch. It's a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM, and it's repeated on Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m. So, my name is Sam Zota. I'm the Media and Communications Officer at CENTAL. My colleague, Mark Bondau, is behind the camera. If you are following us on Integrity TV and Integrity TV, we say welcome, and please, and Real TV. If you are also on Real TV, okay, if you are following us on Integrity TV, we say welcome and thanks for being there. And we want to say the program is Integrity Watch, and today we said we coming to talk about this passport saga. So on May 9, that was on a Monday, Front Page Africa published a story about the Liberian passport, diplomatic passport. So the businessman is in court in America, and he was ongoing trial in America for money laundering and conspiracy, but he was denied bail. So his name is Sheikh Basiru Keita. So Sheikh has been in possession of Liberian diplomatic passport. And then it's also alleged that he has deep personal relationship with the vice president of Liberia. So after this particular matter was reported, the president of Liberia, asked the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, led by the minister, even though we had serious problem with it, because our position has been this same ministry, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has not been, in the news for any good reason for in recent times. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs They are not been, that particular ministry has not been in the news for any good reason in recent times. If it is not passport saga, like the Andrew Wamplo issue, there is some kind of power struggle between the minister and deputy ministers. There's some kind of communication coming from the diplomatic mission about something like dissatisfaction. I mean, that particular ministry has not been in the news for any good reason of recent. So we said that it was not prudent for that ministry to be the same one to investigate passports, especially the passport saga diplomatic passport involving the office of the vice president. I mean, the office of the vice president is one of, in fact, one of the highest office, the second most higher offices in Liberia. So if that issue comes about, what we had expected the president to have done was to constitute a neutral body, a committee outside of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to do the investigation, independent investigation, to submit report to the president. Rather than taking the minister who is at the center of all of these things, who is heading the ministry, who is the ministry that is at the center of all of these things, to investigate himself. That was wrong. So we said that, but yet the president did that. But since May, the investigation has said to be have been ongoing, allegedly been ongoing. But it will interest you to note that investigation should be ongoing into this matter. Key officials of that ministry are not informed. Most of the employees at the ministry, they are not aware of anything going on, what's happening, whether investigation ongoing into passport saga, whatever has happened, where it has reached, nothing. We've made follow up with key officials with that ministry. They don't know. So one official said to me, I think the best thing you need to do is to get in touch with the minister office. Only the minister office can provide information about this particular investigation. Nobody in the ministry can talk to you easily about that. It is the minister office. So, I mean, 3 months, almost 4 months into an investigation, and the minister office will not release information about an investigation involving one of the highest offices of the country. It's sad. This is very important. Like I was saying to His Excellency, this is important because it involves the image of our country. It involves the image of our country. It involves the image of one of the highest offices in the country. So that's why we thought it would have been, fast-tracked so that this investigative report can come out, and it should not be treated as business as usual. Business as usual in the term that you will constitute committees to do investigations, and those committees will either investigate or choose not to investigate. But when they do an investigation and submit report to you, it's a dead case. One, the Brooklyn saga, the Brooklyn committee, Global Witness Committee. I mean, the list is endless. All these committees will investigate. When they submit report to you, that dead case, nothing happened. So, I mean, Your Excellency, this cannot be treated as business as usual. That is why it was important that we should have constituted a committee neutral or outside of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to do this investigation. So we cannot be lingering with an investigation involving the Vice President's office, and we cannot have resort to that investigation. This is wrong. And nobody in the ministry seems to be aware except the minister's office. I mean, we cannot do this. So when this thing happened at that time, we issued our position on that, and we saw a lot of things that we saw. We saw the vulnerability of our passport, the system of accessing our passport was vulnerable. And it still remains vulnerable because anybody can access our passport as it is. Anybody can access our passport. This is not the first time for people accessing our passport. The Danish case was another one. I mean, there are a lot of instances where people just access our passports. So the system of accessing Liberian passport remains vulnerable. You know, the next thing I found out was the lack of political will to drastically deal with corruption in Liberia when people are found in these kinds of instances, to hold them accountable and prosecute them, to make sure that these things don't occur again. The will is not there. The will is not there. I mean, there are a lot of things that, so those are things that, so what we want to talk about today is, we want to gather your view on, what do you think? Is the passport saga the passport investigation going to be another fiasco? Do you think so, or what do you think? What do we expect? What should we expect? Do we still have to wait? For how long? How long do we wait to get information about this? Like I said, we are still making more follow up, but as it is, that's where we are. No, absolutely no information about it. No information yet. People don't seem to be aware of what's going on. I mean, this cannot happen. So we need to know where we are on this particular battle. Where are we? Because it involves the office of the second highest office in our country. So it must be treated with all of the urgency, so that we can clear the need. Because, I mean, it needs to be cleared. The vice president office, I mean, is one of the highest office in the country, and we cannot allow this to just go like that. The image of the vice president is at stake. So you cannot constitute committee that will that's supposed to do investigation, and then this kind of dark cloud be hanging over the woman all along. I mean, you have to clear this out. You have to make sure that she's freed from this, whether she's free, whatever the information that will come out, and let these investigative reports be made public, so that people understand what's happening. Because all of these pieces of information are in the public glare. So when information about the investigation come out, and they are not in the public glare, of course, people will start speculating. And this is someone who has serious political interest. So you cannot continue to, keep this particular investigation, and try to, play on have it hanging over the vice president like this. We have to clear it up, so that she can be free, or whatever the outcome will be, so that people can know. That's what we are calling for. That's why we took interest in this particular matter and all other matters involving the integrity of our country, the integrity of the people that run our country. So that's what we're talking about today. And on the program, we are on the program Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM. And the number, we want to open the lines now so that you can participate. The question we are asking you there is the passport saga going to be another fiasco? What do we expect? Should we still wait another more long? How long do we wait to get, information, or if any, will it be made public? I mean, these are the concerns that we want to share with you. We want you to make your point. The number to call 077-017-5162. 077-017-5162. That's the number to call to be live on the program Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM. A repeat of the program will be on Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m. The number to call to be live on the program, 077-017-5162. That's the number to call to be live on the program. What do you think? Will the passport saga be another fiasco? Do we expect an outcome, if any? Do we expect something concrete to come out of it? What's your view? You can make your point by calling 077-017-5162. Today we are talking about the passport saga at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So the passport, it was on May 9. The information came out, published by Front Page Africa. Thanks to Front Page for always, investigating these matters and bringing to light. So it was Andrew Wamplo. That was another issue. And Andrew A lot of things to say about this, about that. I mean, there are a lot of things that has engulfed that ministry that really require the president to take this very seriously, so that we make sure that the issue this the continuous scandal at that ministry. If it was not the Andrew Wamplo issue, it was the Danish General Saga. That was in 2012. I mean, these are all security matters. The passport of our country is very important. We can have this kind of very important national instrument landing into the hands of people. So that is the reason why we must make sure that we tighten the process of accessing Liberian passports. We're starting the process of accessing, making the system strong so that the system can be able to expose any would-be, criminals or people who will have different intent. That is why we try to do. We must make sure that we tighten the system. So only the system, not the individual, but the system can work stronger than the individuals. So the individuals, when the system is stronger enough, it exposes the individuals who want to bypass system. That is the reason why we call for systems to work. So let's allow the systems to work and people stop manipulating the different systems. So our passport accessing system must be strong and see how we make it to make it work for the people of Liberia. So good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? Our first caller is on the line. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Your name and where are you calling from?
Richard Flomo calling from Brooklyn to be precise, Shop.
Mr. Flomo, what do you think?
Yes.
Is the passport saga going to be another fiasco? What should we expect?
Yeah, I just listened to your topic on the discussion, and that passport saga, like what you said, take it or leave it, it will be a fiasco. What do I mean? Because committee was headed by the foreign affairs minister to investigate that case. He went and investigated the case, and he told the president to give him a week to go into the case.
About more than a month.
I think 2 or 3 weeks, the week passed. Then he requested for another time. And up to now, there's no outcome of the whole thing. And the president is not doing anything. And one good thing I like the president is to relax. He's one of the relaxed presidents ever in the history of this country. Because for me, it's nothing moving much. This is the problem. So his friend now is strength that time up to now. And Kimia now, because the problem he have to go to America now is a secret issue, so he doesn't have time to investigate because they all knew what went wrong. That diplomatic passport that was given to Mr. Country, they all are in it no. But they will now come and bring that investigation up. Take it or leave it. He must carry to the bank. If I'm the control, a cover grade, nothing will come out of it. So this is the point. And this is the problem that our country, the people are looking at us just like we are trained for. That a lot of critical things can come instead of Mr. President taking action. He doesn't do it. Before I conclude, look at the LACC report when they indicted these people from legal, from agriculture. The minister, the president said it was not the information did not come on his desk. When America came and said national mandate people and people they were involved in corruption, immediately Mr. President took action. Why? That's a deception.
Okay.
That's a deception. Yeah, this is a problem. So nothing will come out as you said. Thank you very much for the time.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your points are well noted. 0770175162. That's the number to call to be live on the program. Integrity Watch. And today we are looking at the passport saga at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That was reported in May. Yes, the minister asked for time, but it has been more than months since all of those times, different times he asked for have all elapsed. So what do you think? Uh, what do you think? You can make your point by calling 07701751620, 07701751620. That's the number to call to be live on the program. Targeted Watch. This is a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. If you are following us online, you want to leave your comments, you can leave your comments online. And it will pick up your comments. What do you think? Is the passport saga going to be another fiasco? The investigative report. Do we expect anything to come out? And if yes, what should we look out for to be executed or doing done the same way as business as usual? The number to call 07701756162. That's the number to call to be live on the program. Integrity Watch. Like we said, Integrity Watch comes to you every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM. Thanks to the government and people of Sweden for the support to CENTAL through its National Integrity Building Anti-Corruption Program. So the program is a 3.5 year program being implemented in 7 counties. So we are currently in the third phase of the program, and activities have already started ongoing. Activities have already started ongoing. So we must make sure that we make Liberia a corruption-free nation by ensuring that people are informed. When people are informed, they are empowered. So with information, people can seek, can ask, and seek for what's supposed to be theirs. That's what we want to do by ensuring that we reach out to every nook and corner of our country. Make sure that we reach every sector of our country, leaving no stone unturned, making sure that everyone get the information, whether through our jingles, whether through our engagements, whether it is through the high schools, whether it is through the community outreaches, whether it's through whatever means we can be able to reach out to people or reach out to them to make sure that we give them the message. We make sure that we give them the message. So currently following, we have our colleagues who are following. McLean Renda is following. Abraham Political Matrix Situs is following. Lila Simon is following. Siafa Kamara and others are following. And we say, welcome, please be there. Let's follow. Let's do this together. And AD, we have to make this work only by working together to make it work. Like we said in our press statement, we noticed that there are weak internal control, serious weak internal control, oversight, and scrutiny mechanism in place at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for people to access the passport. How do we control? How do you have oversight on internally controlling? How people have access to it. What mechanism do we have in place that will be able to streamline who's requesting for passport, and make sure that we verify these information coming from people requesting for passports. I mean, this is our national document. We must make sure that we protect its issuance, how people have access to it. We must ensure that it's very strenuous so that anybody can just have access to it. We must do that. So the number to call 07701756162. That's the number to call to be live on the program. Integrity Watch is a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM. And today we are talking about this passport saga at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. All follow-ups so far have shown that uh, nothing so far. Nobody knows anything about what's happening at that particular ministry involving this investigation. So the only person so far that has been pointed to speak to this matter is the minister. So nobody else want to talk about it. We only have to contact the minister, and the minister will be able to respond to that. All of the time the minister have asked for, all of the time have elapsed. But yet we have not gotten any information about this particular matter. So it is important for us to have information about it. It's important for the public to know because they have the right to know. And apart from them having the right to know, it is also important for them to know because it involves the office of the vice president. And the vice president is a political figure in our country, and we must ensure that whatever information comes out around her character must be cleared, and it should be done speedily so that we don't have these kinds of things hanging over the vice president as we go to election, and people want to use these kinds of things against people during electionary periods. So that is the reason why we want all of this information to come out. It is in the interest of the people of Liberia. It is in the interest of the country as as a nation, Liberia. It is in the interest of the vice president as an individual, and we must make sure that this is done and is done speedily. So we have a caller on the line. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Please lower the volume of your radio and let's have this conversation. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Amos Tanapoli. I call from the borough.
Mr. Tanapoli, how are you?
I'm fine.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, in regards, first of all, thank you for allowing me on the platform.
You're welcome.
And in regards to the topic, honestly, the situation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs involving passport is an age-old problem.
Okay.
The staff at the ministry are not doing what they should be doing. They don't have integrity.
Okay.
I tell you for free, I had a situation where somebody at that ministry, purporting to be a staff of that ministry, told me they could get me official passport for the sum of 1,500 United States dollars.
Okay.
You have a clique at that place working. Some are not even employed. They just come around the building, pretend to be staff of the building, and they are duty innocent people. Now there are staff there too who are not honest. So I think what the government has to do is that put in a system, straighten that place up. If they can't straighten that place up, Madam Brown is still around. Give her a chance to get to that place and she will get to the bottom of the matter, because thanks to her, we'll get the passport in 5 days. But nowadays, it's a challenge to even get passport out of that ministry. So whatever the situation is, I think there's a need for the government to make public whatever information they have on the investigation that has to do with the issue of the passport saga, so that people mind can be laid to rest. Remember, we are going to elections, and all these things will come up tomorrow and come to play and come to bear against other people who may want to step up to the plate and lead people.
Sure.
There are good people at the ministry, there are good people in the government, there are good people in the private sector, but there's every sector you got people who are not honest and sincere.
Okay.
So there's a need that we all put our hands down. Even when you are going to the ministry for passport, and somebody come from the side and try to dupe you, get that person. Like for me, I'm willing to give the person name and information if somebody reach out to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I honestly believe that we can fix this country one person at a time.
Okay. Thank you so much. Your points are well noted. Thank you ever so much. 0770175162. So in terms of working with the different sectors, like when as an institution, as National Civil Society Organization, when we bring this issue up, they are intended to raise the consciousness of the people and also make sure that those who are heading these places understand that they are serving the public, they should be serving the public good, and work in the interest of the people. So in so doing, what we are doing to make sure that we help this process. Currently, at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we've already done a fees posting. So to understand what you're supposed to do, the different things that you're supposed to follow, processes that you're supposed to follow, how much you're supposed to pay for this to access certificate at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we've already posted that. So if you go to the Ministry of Internal Affairs and you want to access services there, just look on the board. You're going to see this, but all of the pieces of information you need. So we are working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, especially the Passport Division, to do the same thing so that we put a bulletin or put a banner. We place a banner with all of the pieces of information you need. So it tells what you're supposed to do from point 1 to point 0. What's supposed to be done, how much we're directing our people. The same thing we want to do with the Ministry of Transport. We want to make sure that these people, so we're working through a forum called the National Integrity Forum. So that is another activity on our National Integrity Building Anti-Corruption Program. So the National Integrity Forum brings together the GAC, the LACC, the PPCC, and all other integrity institutions working together, including the LERTR. So they're working together to make sure that they promote the issue about the culture of integrity in our country. So they are working to post all of these things at the different service providing agencies and ministries. So the same thing with the business registry. So the LBR provides every business in this country have to register with, with the LBR. So we want to also do the same thing there, so that when you go to register your business, if it is Liberian owned business, how much it will cost you to register, what's the process involved, what do you have to present to have your business register. So all of these things, that's why we are doing as an institution to help this process. So we don't just bring these things up to just talk about them, but we are making frantic efforts to make sure that we address these things. But they cannot be done in a vacuum. We cannot do it alone. It requires all of us, even you who's supposed to access these services. When you go there, instead of being impatient, be a little patient. Just go and read what you're supposed to. If you don't have somebody to read it, or if you cannot read that, what you do, ask somebody to help you to read what is there, so that you can be able to follow the procedure and stop allowing people to be exploiting you. That's what we want to do. I mean, and to all of you who are there, who are exploiting people, this is wrong. This is wrong. People are hustling on a daily basis to have something for themselves, to fend for themselves. And they struggle as hard as possible under the rain, under the sun. They risk their lives getting up in the morning to leave their houses, to go to the places of work or businesses, and then they want to access service. They go there to access a particular service, and you exploit them. This is a serious curse you put it on yourself. And you don't know about that. You cursing yourself. And when trouble start to haunt you now, then you start looking around and going to all of the prophet and prophetess and asking them to pray for you. When you yourself has caused the problem for yourself, you need to think and stop exploiting the people of Liberia. The number to call 07701 7516. 07701. We got limited time now on the program. I mean, it is so frustrating. Sometimes when you think about how Liberians exploit Liberians, you get so frustrated about it, but we cannot stop. And we as CENTAL, we will not stop. We will continuously engage. We will not back down. Let's take this as our last caller. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? Let's get to quickly. Good morning. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Okay. We have to make sure that we make this work for ourselves. We have to make this work by working together. So when we place these things there and you don't go to look at them and you continuously follow the same pattern, you want to follow the same pattern that you've been following before, then we will not have the result that we need. So if we post it at the Ministry of Transport and you go to transport, you don't go there to read what is there, and then you go to the same people that have been working for you and just been exploiting you, then we will not achieve what we want to achieve. So when these things are placed there, currently, like I said, is at NASCOP. So NASCOP, the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, already has these fees posted already. So the same thing, the fees and services posted already. So the same thing as the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So the fees and services have already been posted. So we're going to do that subsequently with the ministry. It has not been done at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs yet. It has not been done at the LBR yet, but it's going to be done. We're going to post all of these things there so that you can have access to. Today, the program you've been listening to is called Integrity Watch. It's a 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM. A repeat of the program is on Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m. So my name is Sam Zota. I'm the Media and Communications Officer at the Central.
saxophone là, et tout ça, all